Hello, thanks for taking 5 with Wolf Gorlick. This is a few minutes riffing on IT and IT security. Today we're looking back at the decade that was 2010 to 2019. I am at the Kalahari, I am at CodeMash. If you are viewing this today, hey, hit me up if you want to talk security or anything else. Grab a beer, grab some coffee, who knows. But let's look back at the last decade, because a lot of things have changed, right? I'm going to say 4 main trends. One, the internet. The internet is the new network. When I started out at the hospital, we didn't even trust the network. It was like tin cans and string. And because of that, most of the apps that I was developing on, most of the apps I was supporting on, were all desktop apps, right? In 2000 to 2010, we were developing apps, and a lot of them were client-server because the client-server network finally got fast enough. We trusted it, except for when it broke. And then we're like, not my app, it's the network. Call the network guy. Always blame the network. But in the past decade, everything has went to microservices, everything has went to web services, and this is interesting because now we're building and securing more and more things over a public network that we have no control over. Continuing that trend of having no control over things, the cloud is the new data center. I built data centers in the 90s, I built data centers in the beginning of the 2010s, but of course, AWS came out in 2007, Azure came out in 2010, and since then we've all had a move towards building infrastructure on the cloud. That has resulted in lots of organizations using lots of cloud apps. At the end of the decade, surveys showed that the average enterprise was using 1,427 cloud apps. The average enterprise employee was using 36 cloud apps to complete their jobs in any given week. 36. And of course, most of those are outside of our control. So far outside of our control that another survey found that the average CISO secures about 40. So you do the math. So we no longer control the network. We no longer control the hardware and software that our apps are running on. Another shift has been BYOD. BYOD is the new endpoint, right? iPhones hit 2007. That was kind of the precursor, the firing shot as it was in us losing control of the devices. iPad hit in 2010. I remember being asked by my CFO to hide my iPad because if the execs saw it, everyone would want an iPad. And next thing you know, we'll be supporting all these devices. And it wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. By the end of the decade, surveys show that 1 in 5 employees are using 6 or more devices to access their 36 apps over the internet. This is madness. And of course, the average enterprise employee is using 2.3, which means there's a number of devices out there that we don't know about, that we don't control about. And whenever I talk to any organization that puts in place visibility, right, device health or whatever, starts looking at devices, they're always surprised. It's always 2 to 3 times the number that they had expected, that they were controlling over things like MDM, mobile device management. So with these 3 changes, I would put forward the breach is the new security. Not good news for us. At the beginning of the decade, 2011, I was like, wow, this is amazing. We had 412 million records breached. There was 1,300 breaches that occurred. By the end of the decade, I'm like, oh, sweet summer child. We now have billions served. Owned? Billions, 7.9 billion records were breached last year. According to some surveys, over 5,000 data breaches. Probably because we don't control the BYOD device, we don't control the network, we don't control the app. This is a problem. Also because of crime. You know, I've said in this podcast before, cybercrime overtook the drug trade around 2015, right? You could make more money in computers than you could in drugs, right? Breaking Bad, no longer the case. At the end of the year, a stolen email, the money you could make off that overtook bank robberies. So I can steal an email and I could make more than like point break bank robberies. Craziness. So this is 2020. This is the world we're working into. And this is some of the topics I'm going to be covering in these videos to figure out how we can secure it and how we can get ahead of it. But I'd ask you this. What did I miss? What's your favorite highlights and lowlights of last decade? Hit me up in comments or social media. Cheers.